Hello, students. Here we begin with our second lesson in English 1.2, The Thief's Story. So, this is our lesson, The Thief's Story. Students, you have a warming up exercise on your screen. Now, the warming up exercise tells you to read the following incident. Here they have given an incident on cheating. Students, I want you to read this exercise on your own in your textbook and do the exercise A and B yourself. Page number 7. So, let's start. The Thief's Story is written by Ruskin Bond. Now, this is the writer of the story. So, Ruskin Bond is an Indian author of British descent. So he's basically from British but has taken the citizenship of India. He lives with his adopted family in Landur, Mussoorie, India. The Indian Council for Child Education has recognized his role in the growth of children's literature in India. You can find out more information on Wikipedia. So he was born on 19th May 1934 and at Kausali. Then his education is, what is his education? He was educated at Bishop Cotton School, Shimla. Now movies and TV shows that he has done or has written stories for: Sat Khoon Maaf, The Blue Umbrella, The Black Cat, Junoon, Ek Tha Rusty to Part 2. The awards won by him are Padma Shri and Padma Bhushan. So he is the writer of this story, The Thief's Story. So let's begin. The Thief's Story focuses on basic human values and relationship. The story describes the eternal conflict between good and bad in human heart and the ultimate victory of virtues over evils. The story tells us that it is easier for a thief to burgle or rob a greedy man, but it is very difficult even for a thief or a burglar to a careless and honest person. Now, this story, the thief's story, tells us that here the thief is only 15 years old. So, I will read out the story for you all and explain. So, page number 8. I was still a thief when I met Anil. Now, here the narrator himself is the thief and he's narrating the story. And the second character here is Anil. So, there are basically two characters, Anil and the thief. I was still a thief when I met Anil, and though only 15, I was an experienced and fairly successful hand. Over here, the narrator is saying that he was only 15 years old, and at such a small age, he was a successful hand. Means he was very much expert in robbing people. Anil was watching a wrestling match when I approached him. So he met Anil when he was watching a wrestling match. I approached him. He was about 25. So what was the Anil's age? 25. A tall, lean fellow and he looked easygoing, kind and simple enough for my purpose. I hadn't had much of luck of late and thought I might be able to get into this young man's confidence. Now here he has described that Anil was a 25 years old and he was lean, means thin, and very easygoing. Easygoing means what? He would be a relaxed man, dealing things with in a relaxed manner. Then he said, I hadn't much late of luck. Means he said, it's not late for me. Okay. And thought I might be able to get into the young man's confidence. So he said that I will win his heart and I may loot this person. You look a bit of wrestler yourself, I said. Now here the narrator is nicely buttering him by saying, you look a bit of wrestler. A little flattery help in making friends. So here he is just praising him. His flattery means he's praising him just to put an impression on him. So do you, Anil replied, which put me off. Okay, for a moment, because at that time I was rather thin. So he was little bit alert by this sentence that even I look like a wrestler, but I was thin. I thought for a minute. Then he said, well, I said modestly. Okay, so he said in a very humble way, okay, fine. I do wrestle a bit. Now see what he's saying. I do wrestle a bit. Because he was a thief, so he must be having fights with people. And in that way he said, I do wrestle a bit. Now further, what's your name? Anil asked, what is his name? Hari Singh. I lied. Now here he gave a name, Hari Singh. And he says that the narrator lied. I took a name every month that kept me ahead of the police and my former employers. So he said every time I used to take new names so that I will be away from the police. After this introduction, Anil talked about the well oiled wrestlers who were grunting, lifting, and throwing each other about. I didn't have much to say. Anil walked away. I followed casually. Hello again, he said. I gave him my most appealing smile. So Anil was going. He tried to stop Anil and he gave him a smile. And what did the narrator say? Now here his name is Hari Singh. He says, I want to work for you. But what Anil is saying? But I can't pay you. Because Anil was not rich and he was not so successful person, earning person. So he said, I cannot pay you. I thought that over a minute, perhaps I had misjudged my man. Now a thought came in the mind of Hari Singh that, array, this fellow is not a rich person. How will I rob him? So I misjudged him. Next he says, I asked, can you feed me? So, can you cook? I can cook. I lied again. So here this is a conversation between Anil and the thief. He's saying, can you feed me? So Anil said, no problem for me, but you should cook. Can you cook? So here the thief is saying that yes, I know how to cook. If you can cook, then I can feed you. He took me to his room over the Jumna sweet shop and told me I could sleep on the balcony. So he took him to the place, to his own home, and he gave him a place in the balcony to sleep. But the meal I cooked that night must have been terrible because Anil gave it to the stray dogs and told me to be off. So what he is saying that when he cooked the food was horrible, it was tasteless. So he gave that food to the dog and he said to go away. But I just hung around. So he was there only, staying there at one place, smiling in my most appealing way. Again he started giving smiles to Anil, and he couldn't help laughing. And Anil also appreciated that smile and he also started laughing. Later, he patted me on the head and said, "Never mind, he had teach me to cook." He also taught me to write my name and said he would soon teach me to write whole sentence and to add numbers. I was grateful. I knew that once I could write like an educated man, there would be no limits to what I could achieve. Now, here, Anil had decided that he will teach Hari Singh how to cook, and he also promised that he will help him to read and write. And then the thoughts came to the mind of Hari Singh that once I am educated, if I know how to read and write and add numbers, I will fool people in a more educated manner. Further, it was quite pleasant working for Anil. I made tea in the morning and then would take my time buying the day's supplies. So he- now this he is describing how he was working with Anil. So he used to go to the market, buy the day's supplies, means whatever they used to need daily, he used to go and buy it. And from usually making a profit of about a rupee a day, whatever money was given by Anil to buy things from the market. From there also he used to rob one rupees every day. I think he knew that I made a little money this way, but he did not seem to mind. Now the narrator here is saying that Anil knew that he was robbing one rupees every day. But Anil did not question him any time because he said that Anil knew he was not able to pay the person there. Next is Anil made money by fits and starts. Now previously also I said Anil was not a successful person. So what he used to do, he used to work hard at such very short or irregular intervals used to get money. He did not get salaries from anywhere. So Anil made money by fits and starts. He could borrow one week, lend the next. He kept worrying about his next check. But as soon as it arrived, he would go out and celebrate. It seems he wrote for magazines, a queer way to make a living. So he was a writer, and from his writings, by selling his books, he used to make money, and it was very irregular. Further, one evening he came home with a small bundle of notes. So Anil came home with a small bundle of notes, saying he had just sold a book to a publisher. At night, I saw him tuck the money under the mattress. Now, Hari Singh was watching where he kept the money. Now, Hari Singh originally is a theft. So, he had all those bad thoughts, evil thoughts in his mind. I had been working for Anil for almost a month, and apart from cheating on the shopping, he had done nothing in my line of work. Here he says that though have stolen one rupee every day, but nothing more Anil had done to him. I had every opportunity for doing so. So here Hari Singh is saying that I, being a theft, I have only robbed 1 rupee every day. I have not done anything more than that. Though he had the keys of the house and everything was in his own hand, but he never did any wrong to Anil. I had every opportunity for doing so. Anil had given me the key to the doors, and I could go and come as I pleased. He was the most trusting person I had ever met. So here, Anil was trusting Hari Singh very much. Next, and that is why it was so difficult to rob him, because Anil has put trust on Hari Singh. So he said he trusted him, and it was difficult for me to break his trust. It's easy to rob a greedy man because he can afford to be robbed. But it's difficult to rob a careless man. Sometimes he doesn't even notice he's been robbed, and that's take all the pleasure of work. So what he says that I do not like to rob Anil because he has put the trust on him. Further, well, it's time. I did some real work. I told myself, I am out of practice. And if I don't take the money, he will only waste it on his friends. After all, he doesn't even pay me. So here Anil is thinking that now it's a time for me to do some work to steal that person, because he says I should not be out of my practice, and now if I don't take the money he will waste it on his friends. So what he does is, Anil was asleep. Anil was asleep. A beam of moonlight stepped over the balcony and fell on the bed. I sat up on the floor, considering the situation. So he was thinking that night Hari Singh could not sleep. He was only thinking how to rob the money. If I took the money, I could catch the 10:30 express to Lucknow. Sleeping out from the blanket, I crept up to the bed. Anil was sleeping peacefully. His face was clear and unlined. Even I had more marks on my face, though mine were mostly the scars. So here Anil has thought for a plan that if I rob the money by 10:30, I can go to the station and catch up the Lucknow Express. So he went there creeping, and he crept, and was he went near Anil, and then he saw Anil's face. It was so unlined. He was sleeping very peacefully there. My hand slid under the mattress, searching for the notes. When I found them, I drew them out without a sign, without a sound. Anil sighed in his sleep and turned on his side towards me. I was startled and quickly crawled out of the room. So finally here Hari Singh had robbed the money and ran away out of the room before Anil could wake up. When I was on the road, I began to run. I had the notes at my waist, held there by. When I was on the road, I began to run. I had notes at my waist, held by the string of my pajamas. I slowed down to a walk and counted the notes. So he had just grabbed the bundle, and now on the road he is counting the money. And 600 rupees. How many money? How much money was it? 600 rupees, and all in 50s note. Now he's thinking again. I could live like an oil rich Arab for a week or a two. So he said, with these 600 rupees, I can live like a rich person. Further he says, when I reached the station, I did not stop at the ticket office. I had never bought a ticket in my life. Being a theft, can he buy a ticket? Never. So he never had an habit of buying a ticket. But he dashed straight to the platform. The Lucknow Express was just moving out. So according to his plan, 10:30 he reached there, and Lucknow Express was moving out of the station. The train had still to pick up the speed, and I should have been able to jump into one of the carriage. But I hesitated. For some reason I can't explain, and I lost the chance to get away. Now here is a twist, students. So Lucknow Express was waiting there, but he couldn't board the train. He hesitated for a moment. A thought came to his mind, and the train went off. He was standing there, thinking something. Let's see what happened. When the train had gone, I found myself standing alone on the deserted platform. I had no idea where to spend the night. Now the chance had gone that he had to leave the city. Now he was standing all alone on the platform. He had no idea where to spend the night. I had no friends. He never had any friend, believing that friends were more trouble than hell. So he was a thief. So he never had any friend. He was all alone, running from one place to another, cheating people from one place to another. And he did not want to make any curious by standing at one of the small hotels near near the station. The only person I knew really well was the man I had robbed. Leaving the station, I walked slowly through the bazaar. Again a thought came that I don't know anyone here, but I know only one person, that is Anil. So he again started back to the Anil's house towards bazaar. In my short career as a thief, now he's thinking here. In my short career as a thief, I had made a study of man's faces, but when they had lost their goods, now he says, I robbed so many people, and I have studied many faces, their reactions after the things are robbed. The greedy man, the greedy man showed fear. The rich man showed anger. The poor man showed acceptance. ठीक है, चलो, all right. But I knew that Anil's face, when he discovered the theft, would show only a touch of sadness, not for the loss of money, but for the loss of trust. By this sentence, we came to know now Hari Singh is a changed person. If this thought has come to his mind, that he is breaking the trust of a person, means Hari is saying is changed. Anil has changed him. And for this reason only, he couldn't run away with the money. Next. I found myself in the Maidan and sat down on the bench. The night was chilly. It was early November and the light drizzled added to my discomfort. Soon it was raining quite heavily. So it was November. It was very cold and even it started raining there. My shirt and pajama stuck to my skin and cold wind blew the rain across my face. So he was sitting there alone in a Maidan thinking what to do. I went back to the bazaar and sat down in the shelter of a clock tower. The clock showed midnight. So it was 12 o'clock. I felt for the notes. They were damp from the rain. So when he touched the rupees, 600 rupees notes, they all have become wet because of the rainwater. Anil's money. He again thought that this is Anil's money and all are wet. In the morning, he would probably have given me 2 or 3 rupees to go to the cinema. But now I had it all. I couldn't cook his full food, run to the bazaar, or learn to write whole sentence anymore. Now again these changed thoughts have come to his mind that now once I run away with this money, I cannot cook for him. I cannot learn from him. So this is not good. I had forgotten about them in the excitement of the theft. The whole sentence I knew could one day bring me more than few hundred rupees. He said to himself that in the excitement of robbing Anil's money, I forgot that one day I will be a good educated person and more than these 600 rupees I can earn much more than this. It was a simple matter to steal and sometimes just as simple to be caught. But to be a real big man, a clever and respected man, was something else. I should go back to Anil. I told myself, if only to learn to read and write. So now he has decided, whatever it is, I will go back to Anil. I want to learn and read and write. I want to become an educated person, become a successful person in life. I hurried back to the room, feeling very nervous, for it was much easier to steal something than to return it undetected. So he said that it is very easy for robbing, but again to keep the robbed money on its own place and that too unobserved, that is undetected. It's very difficult. I opened the door quietly, then stood in the doorway in clouded moonlight. Anil was still asleep. I crept to the head of the bed and my hand came up with the notes. I felt his breath on my hand. I remained still for a minute. Then my hand found the edge of the mattress. I slipped under it with the notes. Now he again kept the notes back on its place. I woke late next morning to find that Anil had already made the tea. He stretched out his hand towards me. There was 50 rupees note between his fingers. My heart sank. I thought I had been discovered. So in the morning, Anil got up first. He prepared tea for him. And when Hari Singh woke up, he took the tea to Hari Singh and gave him 50 rupees note. But Hari Singh was in a tension. He thought that I am caught. Next, I made some money yesterday, he explained. So here Anil is talking to Anil is talking to Hari Singh that he's saying that yesterday he made some money. And he again said, now you will be paid regularly. My spirit rose. Now listening to this sentence that you will be paid regularly became a hopeful sentence for him. But when I took the note, I saw it was still wet from the night's rain. Today, we will start writing sentences, he said. So Anil said, after giving him the money, he said, from today onwards, we'll start learn to write sentences. He knew, but neither his lips nor his eyes showed anything. I smiled at Anil in my most appealing way, and the smile came by itself without any efforts. By Ruskin Bond. Means here, maybe Anil knew what happened in the night, but he did not express it or showed it to Hari Singh. And even Hari Singh felt ashamed of all whatever happened the last night. But today, Hari Singh is a changed person. So who has changed Hari Singh here? Anil's trust, his love has changed Hari Singh and made him a good person. So let's see the summary of this story. I hope you all understood the story very well. This story has written by Ruskin Bond, right? The story has a simple plot, a plan with important message. There is a small time thief who befriends a struggling author in the plans of making a steal. Anil, the struggling author, is a good fellow who wants to teach Hari Singh how to read and write. Gradually, Anil develops trust in Hari Singh. But Hari Singh has been waiting for the right moment to make a killing by doing what is the best at. After stealing money from Anil, Hari Singh tries to go away forever. But some inner voice, which voice? Inner voice, stops him from doing so. He returns to Anil because he wants to live a life of respect. Anil does not show that he knew about the incident and accepts Hari Singh with open arms. Thus, a well intentioned person tries to reform a teenager who had diverted from the correct path. Such a nice story, students. Now, I want you all to read the whole story, write down the question and answers which are there in the scaffolding, the meanings which are there in the scaffolding as well as in the video. And I will be sending you the assignment. Thank you.